Good evening. I'd like to call to order the Board of Assessors meeting for Tuesday, June 2nd, and make a note that present is the full board, clerk James Shabbat, a member Lucas Ray, and myself, the chair, Richard Dorney. So why don't we just get into the acceptance of minutes? Did anyone have everyone
I
review?
did, they look fine to me.
Okay.
Move
All
to
right.
accept the minutes of...
Yep, make a motion, accept the minutes.
Move of March, May...
May 13th.
Okay, move we accept the minutes of May
May
13th
13th
as written.
Okay, second, okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Great. All right. Okay, so we have other business, not on the agenda for this evening. New business, there are a couple of items that we need to review, and one's somewhat unique that I can't recall doing this before, but it's pretty straightforward. This is an abatement turnover report, an abatement credit. It's for $50, and it's for the property owners at 47 Harvey Street. I think that address should pop in our minds a little bit because we had looked at that earlier. Reviewed that for debate.
Yeah, I remember Harvey Street.
Who's 47
It's the
Harvey?
one on the corner of John Scott and Harvey. It's one in, a little bit in.
Oh, it's a little ways away from the corner?
Yeah.
They've got like a fence around the back, yeah,
It's
the
an
boat out back?
older
Yeah,
older
I know where it is
home,
now.
white. It's actually, so we're giving a credit of $50 because the forms of list, there was actually, the property changed over twice within a year. And so the forms of listing catch up to the buyer and
There's a business there?
It's a resident.
You said there's a form of list.
Right here. It's just the turnover. So in other words, it's a very unusual. He requested it. The director of assessing agreed to give her a credit.
I'm just curious why you said form of list. Is it personal property?
No,
Oh,
it's
okay.
abatement turnover.
Oh, okay,
I'm sorry.
okay, so you just misspoke. All right, all right.
Form
No,
of
you
list-
threw me off, that's all.
We got forms of list next.
Correct, okay,
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I mean,
it's something that, the property turned over, apparently it's it's a multifamily home. And so it didn't catch up.
I'm thinking of a different property.
It
Up
doesn't.
the hill, you mean?
No, it's John Scott Boulevard coming
So
from,
from town going out John Scott, you
right,
get to the intersection,
correct, take a right.
it's
First
right
right
going
up.
up the hill.
Right,
Okay,
first
that's
right
different,
up.
I was thinking the other
No,
corner.
first right
Okay, I
up.
know what you mean, that is a two-family.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'd like to make a motion to credit $50 abatement.
Yeah, make a motion to credit $50 to 47 Harvey Street.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, excellent.
I didn't sign the first one, I left that for you, sir.
Thank you. All right, and let's follow this here. We have here. The next would be the motor vehicle excise tax warrant commitment. And this, straightforward, we get this. If you want to look at this, this is
Comes from the state and we...
correct. It's basically It's a commitment to,
We have to sign it because we have to
Forecasting for
commit it to
revenue.
the treasurer.
correct.
The money
Revenue,
Doesn't
correct.
get, okay,
Right.
so
And actually, there's a follow-up document right
move
there.
to accept the abate turnover report.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Okay. Then, here we have the actual commitment summary for our approval. And this goes to the treasurer as a recognition for revenue coming in.
Mhm.
You want to look at it?
This is. So this is, money is,
It's committed money.
what, 205, oh, okay, this is
The
the
actual.
companion document to
correct,
that,
and the
okay.
complement.
Okay, so this one, do we all sign this one?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute, there's more than one.
No.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Lucas?
Now it makes sense. So we accept the report from the state,
Okay.
and then we can commit to the treasurer.
Right, exactly.
I'm new at this, just so you know.
You get the institutional knowledge, though, I know.
I'll tell you, that course was something else.
There are a couple modules that are a little tricky, or one in particular.
Actually, one of them was quite interesting. Yes, the one with the numbers,
Correct,
because you skim right by where it says refer to this.
correct.
And then you get to the test and it's like, what?
Yep.
There was something interesting on that. I don't know if you had noticed. The report that you had to go to was for the town of Dana.
Oh, okay, I don't remember that.
The town of Dana is Dana, Enfield, oh, I can't remember the
Is
other
it
two.
part of the Quabbin or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, I thought that was interesting.
What was that, like 11 towns?
4 towns.
Was it
4
4?
towns.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, all right, moving along. Jim, Board of Assessors policies.
Okay, I have 3 that, one I'd like to work on tonight, the other 2 I'd like to talk about and then continue to another meeting.
Yeah, that's
Is that
fine,
it?
that's fine.
So, the first one is the building permit process. Currently, we are on the application for certificate of occupancy. For somebody to get a certificate of occupancy, they have to come to us,
Yep.
allow an interior inspection of the dwelling, or they can't get a certificate of occupancy. That's against the law. We literally cannot do that. We can't force anyone to allow them into their dwelling for any reason whatsoever.
So, when you say we specifically the
The
town?
Board of Assessors.
Okay, so, when you say we,
We, the Board of Assessors, cannot require anyone to let us inside their dwelling.
oh, correct, yeah.
Right. Well, that's currently what's happening.
Well, the history shows that that's a trend that's been going on for years, correct?
No, it hasn't been that long. It's only been a few years. But it's illegal, and I think we need to stop it. I think we need to, I guess the other thing is, why do we want to be on, somebody takes out a building permit, they
Right,
build the house,
right.
why are the Board of Assessors having any involvement whatsoever
So-
in deciding whether they get a certificate of occupancy or not?
So this is referring to new construction?
Correct.
Or,
Currently, the policy is you apply for a permit,
yep,
get all your ducks in a row,
correct.
you build it, you got all these inspections. Then at the end, the building inspector asks, he wants the Board of Health to say, we're good.
Right.
He wants the treasurer to say, taxes are paid.
Yep,
Fair enough. Conservation Commission That one's questionable, I don't even know if that's
Well, that
actually
should be
legal,
up-
but we're not the Conservation Commission,
If
so.
you got a conservation permit, it's justified, but otherwise, I think it.
Even then, I think they have to give you the certificate of occupancy.
Yes. If you
But-
follow
But where we get to the problem is, on the list is the Board of Assessors. To get an occupancy permit, we need a sign off from the Board of Assessors,
Okay.
whereby we're requiring that we go inside the house and inspect it. We can't do that.
Now, your point, you guys both in the trades.
Yeah,
So, what happens if you're at 75%?
no,
So you're talking about
this is
total
100%.
sign-off,
This is
okay.
the final sign off.
All right, so this is town-specific to the charter?
It's the only town I know of that does it.
Okay. Just top of my head here thinking, the assessor, well, you just mentioned the building department is
Mhm.
kind of the lead person to
Mhm.
provide
Right,
I mean, but there's the fire department, as you know.
correct,
A whole
correct.
bunch of
They have to do their
departments.
inspections.
But the assessors don't, they're independent in the sense that,
That's, yeah,
right, they don't,
that's why I thought
so
we
the
should be.
building department has their plans, right?
Yeah, so the building department has obviously has to do the inspection for the final CO.
Right.
They have to do the walkthrough, make sure everything was built as per the plans. But, as far, I'm in agreement with Jim that, the assessors has no, justification for coming in and having to sign off for a CO. That's got nothing to do with the assessors, that's.
But wouldn't it be, well, when would that assessment be made by the board?
So the assessment can be made based upon the building
Yeah,
plans.
and actually,
But,
that's like kind of a companion issue.
well, here's,
Go ahead.
going off the building plans or from the
Mhm.
building department, the assessors work on kind of a different values, right? Meaning, they're looking at what?
Yes and
3
no.
or 4 things. They're
No.
looking at interior structure, exterior structure, walls, ceilings to see it's finished off. How, is it livable? Where's the livable space?
Well,
Where?
but the issue, it gets dicey
Correct.
in a way, because the issue is, we're not allowed to go inside without permission, no matter what.
Correct.
Right. And what's happening here is, what they're saying is if the assessor doesn't go inside, you can't have a certificate of occupancy.
We're gonna hold up your CO.
Well,
If we
that's-
can't get
that-
access.
It's not legal, that's what I,
That, okay, so that, to be honest, I wasn't aware of up in front. I'm not aware of that.
right, that's why,
So,
figured
this is
we'd-
good
let's talk
discussion
about it.
point.
it happened a few years back, actually, with me. I
Okay,
got it, I looked at it, and I said, well, what's that for? I came over and I said, I just need this to be signed. He said, well, you have to make an appointment. I said, okay, well, whenever you want. Okay, you'll be there, we can get inside. I said, no, you can't come inside. Well, I won't sign it then. And I went home and I thought, oh, boy, is this the hill I want to die on? And it was a hard one, because going inside to me is absolutely not. And
and,
I thought, well, now I'm gonna hold up the closing and I have to go to court.
and it was 100% done.
Right,
Signed off by everyone else.
right. So.
So they
I-
weren't assessing at 75 or trying,
I waited till Thursday night, went to see the building inspector to let him know that, look, what you're doing isn't legal.
Yeah.
And I came in, and he had the certificate of occupancy, and he says, I knew you were coming, I was on the other side of the wall when you had that conversation, here's your certificate of occupancy, just go away. And at the time, I thought, okay, they realized they changed the policy. They never changed the policy.
okay.
He knew it was illegal and he gave me the CO. But it shouldn't just be for me, it should be for everyone. It should be,
Well,
it shouldn't just be, people who
think-
know the law.
yeah,
We should be acting in a way that if people don't know the law, we don't abuse them, you know?
oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Right, no, I knew, I knew you'd agree.
But I guess my question would be, and I think it's worthy to bring it to the next point, What was the reasoning behind it at the time? And what are the next steps to see if we can correct it or modify it?
Well, that's what I'd like to do tonight, is to stop it, take our name off the application and be done with it.
Okay.
I just don't understand, I don't see a justification
The value.
for why the assessor needs to get in. If you're building a brand new home, you know, we should just assume, you know, it's a brand new home, it's nice inside, there's nothing exceptional.
But how would the assessment, because the assessment with the Board of Assessors is, I guess, I'm not trying to, it's live, right? We're going there
It kind
as
of,
live, waiting, the plans are
it's kind
they're-
of tricky.
right, they're structured, the plans are the plans.
Yeah,
And those could be revised as little as 6 months ago or 3 months ago.
Well, then there would have to be a building department would have the revised plans, so, you know,
Well,
in order to sign off on the CR.
and that's what,
but wait, how,
but I guess what I'm saying is a separate issue. In other words, no matter what happened,
yeah,
we can't require them to let us in. We can't do it. You know, even an abatement, we can't, they can say you can't come in.
but, and,
Then we deny them and they don't have an appeal. But,
well, right, there's,
but under no condition, and
there
it's,
you go,
and
you
it's
just
kinda,
said it, no appeal, they have no appeal.
Well, we don't have to deny them on an abatement either, that's up to the discretion of
right.
the boards.
But
It's
that's
not
the
law.
only case where there's any penalty possible. But the big thing is, and not to get weird, but this goes back to the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, that we have a right to privacy within our domicile, and we have a right against unreasonable search. That's where it starts.
Yeah,
And a lot of towns actually have it on their website that you don't ever have to let us in. They put it right on there because they want people to know.
okay.
But this is, I guess what makes this difference is we're not asking. We're telling people, if you don't let us in,
So,
we won't give you an occupancy. And we can't legally do that.
so what I'm hearing tonight, I think that's what you're saying is something we should look into and change if we need to.
Okay.
And change it, but what I wanna do before we vote, and
Mm-hmm.
to be fair,
Yeah.
I wanna know the reason why we did it.
I don't. It's an illegal practice and I want it stopped.
Okay, but there's gotta be.
We can always vote again if
But
somehow.
there is a reason, there has to be a reason. Do you know how many times, have you done a real deep dive and,
Yes, I don't know of a single town that does this. I ran this by the town manager and he said, "What?"
okay,
And I told him what it was and he said, "You can't do that." I said, "I know that."
I agree. 100% I agree. And I dealt with this as a builder, Jimmy has as well.
right,
You know, I've built several homes in town, and I've dealt with this several times, you know, where we couldn't get our CO without the assessor's, autograph and inspection. I thought that was overreach,
so,
There's other stuff on the actual assessment, I got more, but it's off topic.
all right.
So I'll come around to it.
All right, but I'm just trying to think this through.
Mhm.
Maybe kind of, 900 feet up, but why wasn't this a concern earlier? Where
I'm
has been
kind of
the,
surprised myself because
where it
I,
has been the blowback or the sharp points where there's been any,
most people don't blow back.
okay,
That's my concern is,
I can tell you why this started happening in Norton,
yeah,
because, and nobody wants to hear it, but this is why it started happening in Norton. Because our assessing department, our director of assessing, wants to go into these homes and value homes like she's a real estate agent, like she's a real estate appraiser, and that's fact.
well, okay, wait.
right, well, I don't wanna,
Well, I was just gonna say, we can't,
Right.
also, we can't legally discuss someone
Right, right.
without them being, we
Okay,
can't.
that's fine, so I'll leave
Right,
that, all right, so
right.
we won't go there, but, if you're gonna try to, come into a brand new home and say, well, they got, extra nice tile, extra nice granite, those homes,
Yeah.
we're gonna raise the valuation of
But the
home.
bottom line is, no matter what,
But
you have to let them say no.
you're saying it's a right,
It's a right to say no,
correct,
and we know
without
this.
penalty, without penalty.
Without any penalty,
Right.
other than in the case of an abatement.
Well,
And that kind of makes sense. There's actually no penalty. In other words, if we have an abatement request and we go down there and they say, no, 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 you're not coming inside. Okay. And we look at it and then we get it before us and we can look at it and say, well, unless that house is junk inside, no, it's worth that much. Well, you didn't let us inside, so we got to assume it's okay inside,
Now,
right? We don't automatically deny it, but we can look at it and say, you know what? If that house is nice inside, and this is the size, and,
but
yeah, we overcharged, we can do that.
but the assessor has never,
So in other words,
as a practice, 75%, 50% pay.
right, no, we're always
Right.
talking 100 here.
100,
We haven't got
right.
into that part yet.
Right.
But, so somebody says they file an abatement,
Right,
the house they're living in.
right.
We go down and say, you can't come in.
Right.
Okay. So we, now as a board, we gotta look at it and say, all right, if we assumed the house was decent inside,
But how, you said assume.
we have to because they won't let you rent it. We have to assume, we got no choice, right?
But that gives someone an assumption to make a decision that, how the codes are.
But we have to. We have no choice. Because we can't go in.
Okay,
So, you look at the house and say, okay, the house is 26 by 36, two-story house with a two-car garage. Normally, that house would be worth roughly 8 in today's market. So we look at it and it's appraised at $1 million. And we say, well, even if we didn't get in.
but it's sold for,
No, we don't have that yet.
okay, well,
That's what I'm saying. I'm specifically taking something where we're gonna be flying blind. Because legally we have to, so, okay, so let me change it. Not changing it, but I'll add more detail.
we're gonna put a pin on the map because we're looking at the outside.
We got,
We're seeing the structure
okay,
of the outside.
one of your
and the
neighbors,
materials.
let's just say one of your neighbors,
Okay,
right? Normal houses,
yep,
all right? It is not for sale, it hasn't been sold,
Yep.
people have been living in it,
Yep.
and they look and they say, I'm overassessed. I want an abatement. So now we get that in front of us.
Yep.
And we look at it and we say, if I drove by and just looked at it, my guess would be 8,
Yep.
right?
yep,
We wanna come inside. Nope, we're not gonna let you inside. So that's all we got. Now, let's say it's assessed at $775. Then we would probably look at it and say, no, I mean, that house is roughly worth 8, we assessed her at $775.
well, we have to get comparables.
Right, but with all the comparables, that's
Yep.
where we're good.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't been inside,
Yep,
so you can't have an abatement. And they say, well, the inside is horrible. Well, okay, but you didn't let us in.
okay.
So we're gonna deny the abatement, right?
Yep,
So we deny it. Now, they can't appeal it because they didn't let us in.
right,
Now, let's look at a different one. Same house, and we've got it assessed at $1 million, and they don't let us in. And we look at it and we say, even though they didn't let us in, this is too high. And we might give an abatement. So it's not an automatic denial. The only difference is they can't appeal.
correct, correct.
But in any case, in no possible way can we force our way in.
No, we never
Well,
have.
Well, yes, this practice is forcing our way in.
Well, it's not forcing, right, I know what you're saying.
It's
it
forcing. You
It's holding
can't
up a
have,
seal. It's holding up a seal.
you
without
can't
this.
have a certificate of occupancy unless you let us in. We can't do that. We can never do that.
I get it.
Okay. I know you're not real comfortable. I understand that, and I'm not trying
No,
to, but,
what you're saying, I
okay, so,
absolutely,
let me make a motion. You might not be
Okay.
comfortable with it, but, okay. Mr. Chairman, I move that the Norton Board of Assessors advise the Norton Building Commissioner that we will no longer require participation in the building permit process, specifically the application for certificate of occupancy, and that our name be removed from said application form.
Second.
Okay,
There it is.
can you read it?
That's the only motion I'll make, just to make you feel better.
Okay. All right, is there a you second?
I
Okay.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm not gonna vote no.
That's fine.
I'm gonna
That's-
abstain. 'cause
Yeah, that's fine.
I would
That's-
just
that's
like to get
perfectly-
more
No,
information.
I understand.
But I'm certainly not opposed to this
Yeah,
at all.
no, you gotta vote your conscience.
Right, right, more information, but, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm,
And my only reason for pushing to get that done tonight is because it's illegal, not for any other reason.
So I know we gotta sign that, we gotta sign off on that motion, and because,
yeah,
well, I mean, at least.
we moved it,
And we
Approved
voted
it.
it.
So we should at least
let's
sign
just
it.
sign it.
Yeah, or right on there, voted, and just put the votes.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
way.
and, well, actually, what I wanna do is get a signature too, just.
That's fine. That's fine.
And a date. No, I understand. I guess, that, here's a question for you guys. So the other departments that are listed, and the reason they're listed, what would you say? Are they more for safety?
A lot of those departments, we have permits for when we build them, you know, like,
Well,
you know, so a lot of those departments have to do a final inspection to make sure that they comply with the.
I would say that some of those signatures are not legal.
And-
However, those are separate entities. We only rule this little tiny corner of the
well,
world.
this seems more of a monetary than, I mean, fire department, building, I mean,
Well-
that's safety, that's,
Well, no, I guess what I'm saying is, building inspector makes his inspection.
correct.
One I will say is definitely legal is health. Because in granting an occupancy permit, he has to be certain that the health code has been followed.
Yeah,
So he wants them to sign, and that makes sense. The same as the plumbing inspector and the electrical inspector would sign, because the building
Correct.
inspector. So, conservation is probably not legal, because the building still meets everything. And in a perfectly legal world, he would give the certificate of occupancy, they would move in, and conservation would have to take him to court. They couldn't stop it. But that's the way we do it. It's probably not legal, but
well,
Well,
that's
I
the
can tell you one
reason,
thing is, you know, I just built a home in Foxborough, I built one in Bristol, Rhode Island, so I built one in Norton. Norton's the only town I've had to go through that requires a assessor inspection for the CO, and that
I guess
and-
the other part that's immaterial to the legality is, we got nothing to inspect. We're not saying yes or no on anything.
And the other thing is too, with the other towns, and even Norton, when we do go for the CO, the only one we see in there is the inspector. The fire department does the smokes and the build department, but, you know, I don't see the planning board, I don't see all the other departments that are, you know, conservation. We just
You're right.
finished a build in Norton, and we saw the assessor, we saw the building inspector and the fire chief. That's it. And then there's a bunch of signatures, but they just go around the town, all their own
They
signs.
do it on their own. They don't make you go chase them, you're right.
Well, they just do it quick and nobody goes to the house, so.
well, the real estate agent kind of coordinates a lot of that, doesn't it?
No,
No,
no.
No, what I'm saying about the smokes,
No, they don't do
No, it's
anything.
quiet.
no?
Not on a new house.
So when we're done with the home, we just request the CO, but we gotta get all the sign-offs
Right.
before the building department will issue it, so. And most towns just, you walk around, they sign them and you're done, so some
Yep.
people do it online, but Norton's the only one that requires the assessor to come in and actually look, which,
Well,
But,
all right, that's,
and that's the reason no one
that's-
else does it, because you
Yeah.
can't do
yeah,
it.
it doesn't make sense, and it's illegal, so.
no, I think that's worthy to look into. That's why I think, you know, pass it, and
Yep.
you can always, if
Yep.
something
At
changes.
the same time, I can tell you don't fully understand it, and I wouldn't expect you to vote yes on something you don't fully understand.
Right. Well, I understand where you guys are coming from, 100%, well,
Mhm.
not 100, but I just had questions how it ever evolved to this. you know?
Yeah,
I mean, that's all.
yeah. I don't know, and I've tried not to worry myself with how it evolved. You started to, but we can't do that.
Well, all right, what you say.
I know how it was.
All right. Very good. Anything else, Jim, on
Oh,
policies?
sure.
Business and policies?
Sure.
All right.
Okay, all right. So, yeah, and we'll keep these kind of broad because I think we need to continue them, and these are gonna need input and discussion. So,
Yep.
okay, so the second one, and I've actually already started on it somewhat, but I don't have all the answers. I talked to,
Can I just,
yep,
how do we want to identify or call this new action? You want to call it the,
well, it's just that's the motion, it's written
Right.
down, I just read it, so
okay,
that, we just
I
put
just
that
think we
motion
need
into the minutes and we
All right.
passed it, and
okay.
it'll be up to the staff to talk to the building inspector, and,
Remove the assessor from the CO.
right, done.
Excellent.
Yeah. Okay. All right, sorry, Jim.
Yeah, no, not a problem. So the second one involves, and I can't remember which, we gotta do a little bit of research, but we passed at town meeting quite a while ago. In other words, we appraise every year as of January 1st,
Okay.
right? Every property. And,
Well, we didn't say every property. We don't praise every property.
but we have to put a number on every property.
Yes,
Even though we don't
right,
actually,
right,
the state
yeah.
says, what is it, every 10
5.
years we have to put eyes on it.
Right.
Oh, no, that's different.
The cycle's every 5, every 10.
The cycle's every 5, and then every 10, we have
10,
to say, we
correct.
put eyes on it.
Correct.
So, but anyways, every January, we put a number.
Yep.
And luckily, if we didn't have software, I don't know how we would do it, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
And-
that software is really needed. Good thing we have it. So, quite a few years back, and I gotta find out which town meeting and exactly which provision of the law, we adopted a provision of the state law that allows us, in the middle of the year, to reappraise. And this is usually things that are under construction. So, at the beginning of the year, January 1st, there's a piece of land there. It's worth X.
Yep. By
In
July, you
June,
get some sticks up.
There's a half a building.
Right, yep,
now we can go in and say, well, it's worth more now.
Yep.
And we do. And that's okay. But, and you might remember, you and I talked about this 2 years ago when you went to pull your papers. Here I am. So, it's my thought
yeah,
that we are spending an awful lot of money in labor chasing pennies. And that it costs us more to get these pennies. In other words, the old
So-
saying is a dollar chasing a dime.
so you're saying, you don't see the full value
Right,
of going
let's
out
say,
at a partial construction.
let's say you've got a
site.
bare lot at $200,000.
Right,
And let me just use a calculator because I can't do it in my head. And I don't know what the tax rate is. Let's just say for the sake of the...
$13.84.
All right, 14, I was gonna say so. So, $200,000, oh wait, it's per thousand, right? So 200
Right,
times 14 is 2,800 bucks.
yep,
Okay. Now let's say halfway through the year it's worth 250, because they got part of the building up. So, now we're at 3,500.
yep,
Change of $700 for half a year. We just got ourselves 350 bucks. How much effort did we expend to get the 350 bucks? I don't think we're making money on this.
well, my first reaction, knee-jerk reaction,
Yep.
go drive down Pine Street and see the Pulse development, where there's, I don't know, 40 homes in two
Mhm.
different divisions.
44.
Pardon me?
Thank you, Peter.
44.
Thank you, Peter. those can be all done at the same time, economies of scale, right? So 350 times the number.
True, but we've
So-
got,
That's all, you know,
but we're going out there and making physical inspections, all these houses.
but how long does it take to do 24?
But those 44
No, no, no,
wouldn't be
no,
done at
they-
the same time, because they're building one or two at a time, so it's.
Well, yes and no. If you go, you see how it works. I mean, you guys know it better than probably most people, almost anybody.
Well, we've got our in-house costs of producing all the paperwork, we've got mileage expense, we've got labor expense.
Well, what do you mean mileage expense?
Well,
I mean, for the car?
we pay our assessor mileage to go out there, right?
Yeah,
So we got mileage expense, we've got payroll expense, and in the end,
I think it's 72 cents a mile.
but in the end,
It's the-
we're gonna end up getting $350.
Well, if you add it up, how many constructions are in process? What about commercial? in
Now,
process?
that's where
So-
that's what I'm getting at.
And the other thing I'd like to make, a point I make on this is, how do you appraise a building that's not complete? I think that's difficult as well. If you got,
That I agree with.
if you got
That I-
four walls up and no
Yeah,
roof,
yeah, no, that,
how are you assessing that?
And then-
that I agree. I agree with you.
We've got
That's,
another issue
yeah,
that somehow we gotta address. You can't just go out there and inspect them. You gotta make an appointment and ask permission each time. You can't go into that building. You
yeah,
cannot go in without permission.
but that's their job.
No.
No, to make the appointment. to
But they
do-
don't make the appointments, they go in without making an
I've seen
appointment.
that firsthand.
They go in without permission. So,
I mean, that's more of a.
I'm gonna get to the good part,
That's me.
it's not all
well,
bad.
But to me, that's more of an administrative discussion than, you know, the $350. Go ahead, just
Okay.
finish.
So, what I'm looking at, and I have talked to the town manager about it, because another thing, you know, on the horizon is, we're gonna have to cut our budget next year. We can't just keep going on spending money. The town's in a fiscal crisis and we're gonna have to kick in. I'm not sure how much, but we've gotta think towards that. So, my thought is, we have adopted that law, so we gotta follow it.
Right.
We're not trying to get out of it in any way, but we need to do it in a way that is efficient. So, you said, what about commercial? And that's a good one. So now we got a different situation. Now you've got a lot that might be worth, say, $800,000. And they're gonna build a $60 million warehouse on it. And halfway through the year, there's $30 million of value there. Yeah, we want that money. Because, we can do that pretty quick.
Turn the phone sideways for that one.
So $30 million in 6 months, wait a minute, is gonna give us $210,000. Do we do the paperwork for $210,000?
Mhm.
Yeah. We do the paperwork for $210,000. So that, I guess, is what I'm saying. And I'm starting broad and I'll get specific. But to do the paperwork for $350 doesn't make any sense.
Well,
Where $210,000 it does.
well, that's an opinion that you're, I mean, I know what you're saying. What's the applied cost versus the actual cost,
Correct.
okay?
So,
I understand that. However, the premise and the practice is to do what we're doing. So.
no, I
No, wait.
disagree.
Well, but listen, please.
Yep.
So the premise is what we're doing. We're revenue recognition in a way, right? We're always trying to get the best assessment, value, and be on top of the properties as well, right? We want to know, do we want to just wait for residential properties till we get the certificate of occupation?
To be honest, I think we do. I think what happens like I said, $350 and the money we have to spend to get the 350, it doesn't make any sense to me for the town to spend $350 to extract it from somebody.
But do we know, I mean, in a way, you're saying that, is the office overburdened with work? I don't think so.
Okay, let's say we cut one staff position, would it be
Why would you
overburdened?
why would you do that? You need someone in the office, you need a field person, and you need a director. There's only 3 people in the whole office. You need people coming in.
I
So,
believe it can be done with 2. We've had
Well-
this discussion before.
I disagree.
No, I understand that.
But let me give you something real
But
quick.
my thought
here.
is when people pay their taxes, they wanna see somebody patching potholes, they wanna see somebody teaching their kids, they wanna see somebody putting out fires and keeping the town safe.
But
They don't really wanna pay us.
But
And
they
if we're
want,
in a
they
crunch-
want an answer when they're paying their real estate tax. They
And
want
I
an
think we
answer.
can give them,
And
I
they want a
think,
face.
I think we can do things
and a
more
voice.
efficiently.
And I
And
think
we
one
can
of
do
the other
that.
things with the partial builds too is say, you know, like we said, how do you value that? And then let's say the town comes in and says, well, that $200,000 lot's got a partial building on it,
So-
and now it's worth 500.
So
How do you contest that valuation?
I'm
You
going.
can't contest that
with your-
valuation at the appellate.
What you're saying, I'm
You
buying
can't
into
contest
more.
that valuation though.
What you're saying, so I just did the real number, 350
Mhm.
times 86 properties, residential.
We don't have 86 properties.
We had in the past.
In a year?
Yep.
Okay,
So that's 30,100. That itself
fair enough.
pays someone's salary.
Whose salary is making
No.
30, who's making
No,
30,000?
no, wait. Pays part of their salary.
Okay, I was gonna say, I
So-
hope we don't have anybody
No.
working for that.
No, but pays part of that.
Okay, no,
salary.
that's
So-
legitimate,
So,
that's
right,
legitimate.
absolutely, but to your point, you're right. I think it's difficult
Well,
to,
I don't think it's fair to not only the builder, but the owner of that, whether it's somebody who owns a
Correct.
home. Like, if I was to say, well, you know, the assessor says, well, that home's worth $500,000. I say,
But-
well, it's only half built, how's it worth
Right,
$500,000?
right.
I have no outlet to fight that valuation, it's at
Right.
the discretion of the assessor,
Right.
and I disagree with,
but there's gotta be, so, these are all good talking
Mhm.
points, good, your point is, yeah, how do you,
I've dealt with it, so I understand
So-
the battle with this, you know.
yours are not,
Well, what I'm
I mean, I
saying,
just gave you 30,000, that's coming in the door. So,
all well and good,
but.
but gotta
but-
remember something.
But I wanna,
I am a big supporter and a big believer of Proposition 2.5.
so I think most of people are in this town.
Okay, so I'm not a big fan. I mean, legitimately, we don't
We
wanna just,
exercise-
we don't wanna leave money out there, but I am not a fan of getting every dime.
But you said, not even 10 minutes ago, that our budget, we're running lean,
I
we have
think-
to run lean.
I think we
So we
can.
just identified $30,000 roughly. Why would we leave that on the table?
Okay. And this is just for discussion. What would our savings be if we eliminated a whole position?
I don't know, but I think that,
125 to 150?
oh, no, not
I
even
think the
close.
assessor's making about 180, 170 to 180, and I'm not sure what her
Who?
staffers are making. I'm pretty sure that's what the director's making.
She would love to make
Yeah, I
that.
don't think that could be.
How about,
I'll have to
How
look at the
about-
book.
I'll look, but,
I think the
I
staffers
think
are
it's,
making
let's put it this way, it's closer
80.
to a little over 100,
Okay.
okay? That's it. And then you get, the insurance, the overhead and all that, but
So you're gonna
but
add,
where's the value, to me,
okay, so I'm not saying to,
and
see,
then what
you're-
here's my
I think you're
argument.
misinterpreting what I'm saying.
Nope,
Yes,
I'm
you,
understanding it.
no, you're
Here's my
not.
next
Wait a
thing.
minute, wait a minute.
Can I just
You
say
were,
this?
you were discussing this as if I were proposing to eliminate interim
No,
evaluations.
no, not at all. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, because you can't get that money that way. Okay,
No,
anything that's under controlled construction, we can get the information from the building inspector.
okay,
So, any project that's controlled construction,
yep.
we have paperwork saying
Yeah.
exactly where
It's
it's
an
at.
open permit. Yeah, you can
No,
try.
no, it's not an open permit. This controlled construction, the building inspector is not the inspector in that case. In controlled construction. These are projects that are too big for the building inspector.
Okay,
But
we
have
talk,
an
we're going to
architect
commercial.
license.
When you build a $60 million warehouse,
Yeah, you have a GC.
no,
Construction
no.
control.
You have an architect. The
Okay.
architect is the inspector. The
Okay.
architect comes in and he fills out affidavits
Yeah,
saying that this is completed and it's all correct. The building inspector goes out there and he looks at it, but he's not taking on that responsibility. This
so,
is,
say, let's just say a $60 million building, and the architect has already spent, say, 45 million, and it's met all these points, he signs off. It's gone to this point, is that how the process works?
it's not so much a dollar amount that he's signing for. He is literally the building inspector.
So is he signing off the scope of work and
Yes.
and valuing?
He is saying, this much work has been done,
Yeah,
and it's been done correctly, and he puts his name on it. The
Okay.
building inspector then says, thank you, Mr. Architect, I don't want to be responsible for that, I'm glad I'm not, and he puts that paper in the file.
so is this, and what about,
So a smaller project, the building inspector would come out
So
and say you
where
pass
does-
or fail.
so the architect is driving the project? Not-
Correct.
What about the PE,
What is the PE?
professional engineer?
Oh,
No,
so-
no,
Well,
he
I've
works for the
had,
architect.
so not every architect can handle construction control.
Correct, that's what.
But, you know, a lot of them are
But any
licensed to handle
building,
construction.
any building that contains more than 35,000 cubic feet of volume
Yeah,
is required to
Yeah.
have construction control.
okay,
That's the state law.
okay.
So it's not like it's optional. You're building a big building, it's controlled construction.
I'm just surprised the architect can drive that. I would think there's gotta be some
So
backup.
my architect does construction control and on the bigger projects, and then, you know, sometimes, you know, we have to bring in the structural engineer. If there's a
Correct.
structural issue, and the structural engineer can sign off.
Right.
But he
right.
works for the architect.
Yeah, he works for the architect.
Right, I've
And
been.
the building
involved-
inspector is at the bottom of that barrel, because if I had an issue with the building inspector, I want something done,
Right,
and we don't agree with the code, we don't agree with what the building inspector's asking, we can always go to the engineer and override the building inspector. So
right. The reason I asked about PE, I'm a little bit, I'm not as versed as you guys, but I've been involved.
But from
So-
our point of view, we can go to the building inspector, and we don't even have to go there, we have permit eyes. No, actually, we
Yeah, no,
don't, what
it's,
do we use now?
Clairvoyant,
get what they use.
Clearview.
Yeah.
Clear-
Okay,
No, it's
It's,
viewpoint.
Viewpoint,
okay,
yeah.
but we have software,
Yeah,
we can sit here, we can go in there, and we can say, okay, we can even do it, I don't know about monthly, I don't know when, but whatever interval.
Yeah.
We go in there and we say, okay, we got these projects that are under construction, and this one, we've got affidavits for this,
Yeah.
and this. Okay, we've got the plans, that's worth this much, and we're done.
It should be a fairly easy process, you know.
So
Now,
here's-
also, on
here's-
controlled construction,
yep.
for us to go out there, for what reason? What possible reason would we go out there? We have no idea what we're even looking at.
Do you think there'd
It's
be,
also a liability
That's,
when you're on a commercial project like that, and you just
Or any
randomly,
project.
any project, like randomly walking onto the job site, you know, without.
so, so going back, and would the commercial, people involvement come, wouldn't they be, I mean, why we, to me, it's almost like, because their value is more to the town,
mhm,
right?
mhm.
We're going after them, or, I don't wanna use the word going after them.
I think a better
We're
term might be
practicing,
low,
we're prac-
low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, but
We're
that,
not going after anyone.
no, but that's right, no, that's my whole point. You have to treat everybody the same.
We are.
How?
We're not going out at all in the middle. We're relying on paperwork.
I agree 100%. Again, I've dealt with this, you know, I've
It
had.
needs more study. I'm not, this isn't,
I've had, you know, I've had assessors show up in the middle of our job, and what are they doing? You know, it's
yeah,
like
that's a
without
little bit
inspection.
different. That needs to like stop right
Yeah,
away.
plans.
You need to have permission.
You gotta have
That's-
appointments, you know.
No, and that's just, to me,
And I can't picture a builder that would ever give permission.
I
You've got a
know.
construction site, I wanna come on your site, absolutely not.
well, usually it goes up to the next chain of command.
What's that?
No, meaning a building person that's running a project and an assessor wants to come on board, or someone, I mean, they're not gonna allow that.
Correct.
They're not gonna allow that.
So what we've been doing is just going out and walking in. We've gotta stop it.
Well, they may not, they probably won't, I wouldn't say probably, but to me, again, and I'll just say this, you're bringing up good points, but.
And it's a topic for future
Right,
discussion,
right,
I'm not trying to
right,
get into it.
Right, I mean, to go, all these recommendations of what you're saying and the actual practice and what happens, makes sense, but to me, $30,000 is $30,000. And more importantly, it's just the appear, I mean, doing our job, residential, commercial. I mean, we just gotta, I think it's definitely worth more discussion.
Mhm.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And there may be other things in between this, I mean, it needs more,
I gotta learn more about it.
me too, I don't know everything about it, I'm just, I'm
Yeah.
saying it's something we should look into
Yeah,
and maybe move in a direction that makes us more efficient.
yep.
Um,
But I think you're right, that, the budget is gonna be tight, the town budget, obviously.
And let's plan on doing our part.
Right,
Maybe there's
So-
might be things we can't do, that's okay too,
right.
you know?
But to me, I think our role is to, I could pull it out here and give it word by word.
Oh,
You know
I've read it,
what
our role is to accurately assess,
Correct.
to the best we can.
Right,
I mean, no, and we already talked about it. We don't assess every property, we let the software do it.
right,
So,
right,
we don't chase every nickel,
Right.
and we shouldn't.
right.
I
Well,
mean,
in the real practical world,
the simple
COVID-
question, the
COVID-
simple question that I
COVID
would,
moved the process sideways, or back.
the simple question I would ask any voter,
Yep,
do you want us to extract every nickel from you or not?
well, I would turn around and say,
That's who elected us. Ask the people who elected, do you want us to extract every nickel from you or not?
well,
That's why I'm sitting here.
That's why I'm here. But anyways, we can move on.
all right.
No intention of putting you under pressure or anything. I know you're feeling it and I'm.
Not
okay.
feeling it, but I like, no, I appreciate you looking at it. All right, anything
Okay.
else?
Yes, so, yeah, let's do this one next. And actually, it was brought up, the most recent email from Denise.
Okay.
She said at the end of the email that we might have to look at how we appraise accessory buildings.
ADUs.
No,
No?
accessory buildings, garages, whatever.
Oh, yes, correct. Right.
This was an
I
email
did, it was
regarding
2 days ago.
Biano's property.
2 days ago, yep.
Yes, yes.
Yes, it was,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
Yep.
I'm just gonna talk about that last sentence. The rest of the email is for another discussion that's executive session.
Correct.
But just at the end, she said that it had raised some issues for her, and that we should look at how we're doing it.
Yep.
And I think that's something we should, moving forward, we gotta look at that. And I'll tell you why. From personal experience, back in 1997, I built a house on Pine Street, and I built a gorgeous accessory building out front. For me, I wanted it. And I can't remember what it was valued at, that's not the point. When we sold that house, we would have got the same money if that accessory building wasn't there. It didn't change the value any.
What?
Because the house was worth $900,000 at the time. I don't know what it's worth, a whole lot more than that.
Yeah.
But the accessory building didn't make it worth $1 million. It added hardly anything.
Because of, it was detached.
Well, because an accessory building doesn't really
Right.
add much value. Now, to prove that point, we have moved, I don't know how many times since then. 6, 7 times? Now, I want a nice, beautiful garage to work in the worst way, with lifts, with heat, with air conditioning. I want a nice garage. I haven't built one since. You know why? Because I know I'm gonna be moving from house to house, and I know I can't be paid for it, and I won't build it and give it away for free. You follow what I'm saying?
I am.
So, at the same time,
This is all in Norton.
yeah,
Moving,
yeah.
okay.
I mean, I could easily just build another big garage with every house, but basically every time I build a
I was
house.
just gonna say that rhetorically.
Right, but every time I build a house, I build a nice garage for me and everything, and that's nice, and I sell the house and I don't get paid for the garage.
Yeah,
So I've done without the garage because of that, because I can't get paid for it.
right.
Well, if you can't get paid for it, it shouldn't reflect in the assessment. Granted, it shouldn't be 0, don't hear me wrong. But, let's say we look at a house, and we've got the house valued at $800,000.
Mhm.
And we've got an accessory building, and we value the accessory building at $250,000.
Yeah,
That's $1,150,000, right?
it's about what it costs to build it.
Correct. But when you sell that house,
You're not gonna get.
you're gonna get $850,000.
Correct. Well, a little, yeah.
You're not gonna,
Right, you're right.
So that's the real value of that building,
When
not
it's
much.
sold.
Correct, not much.
Right.
And I've got a sneaking suspicion that we've got buildings all over town and that the assessments are all over the place. There's no rhyme or reason. So I think it's something we should look at,
Yeah,
and maybe, I would think it'd be a good idea, maybe invite, if they're willing to come, invite a couple of real estate appraisers, not town appraisers, but like regular real estate, to come in and talk to us. Maybe we can learn something.
I've had a deep discussion with a real estate.
appraisers, not agents.
Not agents, no, not agents.
I've had a deep discussion with a real estate appraiser about this exact situation, and, you know, and 100%, I agree with Jim on this. You know, you're not getting the value. It doesn't matter what it costs you to build it. It's what the value's worth
No.
when we sell the
But-
property.
And to,
You're not gonna get that value.
just to add to it, these are,
But why do you think that
This
is?
isn't an
Not
ins-
to go a little bit off the track, but why?
from what, and I've only seen a couple, and looked at them and looked at the number and said, you've got to be kidding. And I don't know if we're looking at it accurately. I think we're looking at it saying, boy, that's what that building cost, that's what we gotta appraise it at.
Yeah.
Not realizing that some people are
So
building.
the reason I'm backing off, just first-hand
And
experience.
I'm not saying anything nefarious is going on.
Installed a 1860 farmhouse in Rehoboth. Had, when we vacated, we put in ducted and ductless
Mhm.
heat pumps.
Mhm.
And I did, you know, the J-Cals, all that. It works, not only in
Mhm.
theory, but, and I was a little worried. I, you know, came from Minnesota, the owner came from here, so he understood the cold. And he was very, you know, pro efficiency and green. And he had attached to that home, the home was only, I'm gonna say 2,200 square feet, 2,100 square feet living. The barn that was finished
Mhm.
for a workshop had a Modine heater, you know, in your mind, you think of that, right? Pine tongue group. That value of that home was actually so more almost to the house, the value. So can move,
But when somebody buys it, that money's not there.
but the buyer sold it, the buyer wanted that.
It's a specific buyer though, it's not.
Correct.
That's what I mean.
Right,
That's what I mean. So what I'm saying is, you've got a building, say that building's worth $300,000.
right.
When he sells it, he's gonna get 50. That's all it's worth.
But, okay,
Now,
I get what you're
also-
saying, but the
also,
market,
wait
you
a
gotta,
minute,
you gotta
also-
sell it to the right people.
No, no, you gotta sell it to any people, that's what an appraisal is, any people.
So if you go
No,
to,
okay, wait, let me add one more thing. You know that right person?
Yeah,
He ain't paying for it. He's not paying for it. He wants it, but he won't pay for it.
well, who paid
He's,
for it? He
no,
paid for it.
no, he won't. I'm that guy and I won't pay for it.
Well, okay,
Like an
But
in-ground
anyways.
swimming pool.
but, no, that's absolutely right.
Okay, same thing. So, but anyways, the other thing is, we're not talking about bringing more or less money into the town in this situation.
Right,
Because we take the total assessment
the
base.
levy, yeah.
I'm
yeah.
just saying, let's make it fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think
And actually, you
it's,
know the big thing I'd like to see? The big thing I'd like to see is to adopt policies so that, and I don't know if it's, in a perfect world, we could appraise everything, everybody's happy and we don't get a single abatement request. Wouldn't that be nice?
that would be ideal.
Without
Well,
costing the town a dime.
so if you look at some of these, also I wanna make a point, if you look at some of these garages, you know, again, I'm pretty well experienced in this. Some of them are valued at $40 a square foot, even less. Some of them are valued at 180 plus a square foot.
Correct.
So when, you know, when we've had these discussions, when I've had these discussions in the past, I've been told, well, you could live in that. Well, you can't, you know, because the town is not gonna allow you to live in it. It's not a declared in-law, it's an accessory building. You can't live in an accessory building, even though it's nice and it's finished. So you can't have such a large discrepancy in square foot price when you say, you know, it's not someone that's renting out their accessory building, you know, as an in-law.
Well, and
It has to be
that's
a-
the other thing. Say it's an illegal in-law, right?
Well, to Denise's point,
Well, her
It
point is,
needs
doesn't
to
matter if
be-
it's legal or not.
but it needs to be revisited to see, your point is valid.
Just because
Correct. I
it's
guess-
nice and finished
Yeah,
doesn't
I
mean
guess
you
what
can
I'm
live in it.
saying, and I think we need to maybe have a good discussion, because we need to learn too. I'm not
Right,
throwing any stones here, but you got a building, you got an illegal apartment. That building's worth a good amount of money. Except it's not, because when you sell it, you can't say there's an apartment in there, and the game is up. So, but anyways, so that was that one, accessory building, I think, I'd like to see that move forward.
okay.
And then the third and last one, I'll make it kind of short. And I'd just like to see the three of them move forward from meeting to meeting, so we can maybe get somewhere.
Yeah.
This last one, not the last subject, but the last meeting, we were talking about a particular building, and things happened that weren't accurate. And I think we could do a lot better. I'm not saying, and I said it at the last meeting, not picking on anybody, but I think we could do a lot better by conversing more with the building inspector. I think we can get a lot further, so I'd like to see that on there. Our procedures that way, in other words, building's finished. We go to the building inspector and say, okay, this is finished. Did they build it according to the plans? Yeah, they did. Oh, okay, thank you, that's good to know. Okay, I don't understand this part of the plan. Oh, that's that. Oh, okay, thank you. Now, if we could go in, that's fine, but we don't always get to do that. We're gonna go out and measure this, right? The as-built plan,
You want to eliminate assumptions,
well, we're gonna have to make some no matter what, because we can't go in.
eliminate it, as many as we do.
Yeah, just to make it, just a better process. And at the same time, a more efficient process where we're learning a lot by talking to the building inspector. I think we can.
I think though we'll find, maybe I'm wrong, but their process and the board's process could be different or not complementing each other.
Okay,
Do you know what I mean?
in a way, but
Do you agree?
no. Only because this one particular example, and you know which one I'm talking about.
Okay,
Okay, I'll just say the name Todd.
yeah,
Are we there? Okay. Some of that wasn't interpreted correctly.
correct.
A conversation with the building inspector would have, we
Well-
weren't able to get inside.
It was an assumption that
But we could have
the-
a discussion with the building
the
inspector.
assessing department had to make.
In a conversation with the building inspector, we would have got it right.
Well,
We would have got it right. See, what's going on here is this,
but the
this,
process that was done wasn't wrong.
I'm not saying that, I'm saying we can do better. I'm not saying we're bad, I'm saying we can do better. In other words, you look at what happened, we made an assumption.
Yeah, more eyes on it,
Okay,
more information.
so you go
Better
over, you go over
decision.
the building inspector and say, look, I'm drawing up the property card, this is what I see.
Mhm.
Is that right? And the building inspector says, no, 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 I was there, that's not the way it is.
Right.
That's all.
But
That's
then
all. I think we
again,
can get a lot better by
but then
cooperating.
again, the assessing department will supersede, you know, the building, absolutely, input.
In other words,
is perfect.
we've got an
Yes,
assumption.
I
We
agree.
talk to the building inspector and he
I
says, no,
agree.
no, no, that inspection's, that
I
assumption,
agree.
that's
I
all,
agree.
that's
Yep,
all.
I agree, yep,
Just a
I agree.
little better cooperation.
yep, yep.
And, again, these are just
And also,
discussion.
and, you know,
But-
to stick with the Todd discussion, right, you know, that, okay, if the assessing department in that situation did go to the building inspector and said, hey, well, we weren't
Yeah.
allowed access, but we think there's a room upstairs, this and that, they could have corrected the record. The building inspector could have fixed that, there wouldn't have been an error to begin with, he could have said.
Because he was there.
Yeah, he was there.
In other words, we could say, look, this is what we think, and he could say, no, 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 that's not the way it is.
Right.
This is the, and he would have straightened it
And
out.
there would have been no error, and we wouldn't be in this mess to begin with, so.
All right, well, yeah, I just want to make sure that, and I agree, having other sets of eyes and experience
Because
and
you know
all
what,
that makes sense.
getting better doesn't mean we were wrong. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? That's,
Do you ever hear of Kaizen?
No.
Okay, so that's the Japanese, it's called continuous improvement in manufacturing, back in the 80s, 90s. That's why they were so quick to go into high technology.
mhm,
It's continuous improvement,
mhm,
always looking at
Correct.
the right, so.
correct. Let's just keep trying to do better, that's
Right.
all.
Yep, all right, great.
Okay, so I guess
Anything else?
that's all I had.
All right, well, thank you, Jim. Lucas,
Yeah, no, that's it.
you good?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah.
All right.
We can discuss this, you know, going forward, we'll get a little more information.
Yeah, no, those are good. All
I
right.
need the, just need the agenda so I can make the motion,
Oh,
the bottom.
yes, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we go into executive session for the purpose of discussing a project that follows exemption 7 of the executive session requirements, general laws, chapter 59, section 59, applications not open at the public.
Is there a second?
That we will not come back to open session after we conclude.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.